You're listening to Fight Jokes About Everything, a Night Shift Radio original. For more information, visit nightshiftradio.com, and thanks for subscribing. Hey, today we're going to talk about anime that came out in 2020. So there has been, there was a lot, surprisingly. Obviously, anime is made, well in advance. It takes a long time to animate and then color and then shade and then render and then voice. Not only, especially if it's Japanese based, so you got the Japanese voice cast and then you have your dub cast voicing. So we saw this a lot with delays with My Hero Academia season 4. We saw the delays in dubbing this year because that's one of the last things that happens, and it kind of happened right in the middle of a pandemic. They were dubbing it and releasing it kind of at the same time, and it caused issues with that. So we were seeing 2 to 3 weeks gap between episodes of the Japanese release and the dubbed version. For those of you that watch dubbed, by the way, both subbed and dubbed are perfectly acceptable. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. But I do want to talk about some anime that came out this year that I thought were fantastic. So the very first one, which is actually probably one of my favorites to come out this year, is Spectre, and that's IN/Spectre. I really like this one. We had a little kid-like character who was leading this. She was the detective, and she had very much like a Sherlock Holmes theory of deductive reasoning type of feel to her. Everything was like, oh, well, if it's this, that's because this did this, which equals this, and then did this. But it had this supernatural element to it. One of the really things that was I thought the coolest is that there was an entire monster of the week, I guess, but it was over a couple of series arc, that this ghost existed because somebody willed the ghost to exist, basically. I guess it's kind of hard to explain when you don't watch the entire series, which I highly recommend. It is streaming, available on Crunchyroll. I think it's on Hulu now and Funimation, which if you follow any anime news, those are now all the same company. The same company that owns Funimation, Sony, now owns Crunchyroll. And so all your American anime, all anime in America comes from the same one company. So that's kind of a big deal. But anyway, so it was a really great idea, where it was like, they willed for a character like this to exist, and they had to figure out what it is that she wants because she essentially became invincible. And the characters had to like deductive reasoning, figure out like how the original spirit was created, like what does that mean in the future? How do they work it all out? Really great. Highly recommend that one. That was a really big one. Another super duper cute one was Somali and the forest. Somali and the forest spirit. Very cutesy one. Somali is a young human child that ends up being lost in the woods, and humans really aren't a thing anymore. And she is found by a golem, basically a forest golem who is there to like protect the forest. And the golem, kind of imprints upon her and basically goes off to try to find other humans to kind of like pass this child off to. And along the way we learned that the golem has a very set lifespan, and that so the golem is like kind of on a rush to deliver this child because it's about to he's about to die, and he won't be able to take care of the kid anymore. And because she's human, it's there's a lot going on because she's human. A lot of the creatures of the world, which are more of like the demi-humans and stuff like that, are going to be very intrigued and potentially very violent or mean to this tiny child. So it's a really, really cute story, really, really good one to play with kids. It's it really works out for kids. It's not it's not violent. It's not too violent. There's no real bad things into it. There's no over sexualization of anything. Highly recommend that one. Very, very good. And then moving on, we have another one called Jujutsu Kaisen. So I actually really like this one. I still have a few episodes to finish up, but I really like the idea of this one. Is it's very similar of like the young kid stumbles into this other world that exists, and now he's part of it, and there's mystical artifacts and people can wield them, and he ends up being inhabited by a demon, and they go off and fight other demons. Very cool. Very it lives in the Bleach universe to a larger scale. So if you were a fan of the show Bleach, highly recommend watching Jujutsu Kaisen. The opening sequence for this one is absolutely absolutely fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed watching it a lot, and that's definitely one that's definitely a jam. I've added it to my playlist. Really great opening theme. Same thing with Spectre. Really good opening theme song. Highly recommend that one, and to check that one out. Really cool. Another one along the lines of that is called Darwin's Game. Darwin's Game is kind of messed up, and it reminds me, and I feel like it's a game that I feel like will eventually exist one day. Actually, if you've I'm trying to think of what the movie with Daniel Radcliffe was, where it was Akumbe Weapons or something like that, the one with the guns. He has the guns sewn onto him. It's kind of this sort of sense. So a kid opens up his phone, and he gets an invite to this thing called Darwin's Game, and he clicks on it, and he ends up being part of Darwin's Game. And basically the idea of Darwin's Game is that once you are chosen as the wanted person, your job is to either stay alive or kill people to stay alive. And each thing is worth points, and you can get like weapons along the way, and you get like more powerful as you go, but like you're kind of chosen by random. So like anybody could be part of it, and some people are there, for specific reasons. Very messed up when you think about it from like a societal stance of like how messed up it would be that, you're about to be killed by some other random kid because you accidentally clicked the wrong link, and now you're in a battle royale death game, which I think is a wild story. I think is pretty cool. And again, is just like that movie with Daniel Radcliffe. I'm gonna have to look it up while we're here, only because it was such a wild idea with Daniel Radcliffe being a part of this. And I didn't see the movie, and I really wish I had, and I'm regretting it now, and I'm gonna have to watch it now. So it was Guns Akimbo. That's what it was. I knew it had something to do with Akimbo. So it was Guns Akimbo, same sort of idea, but live action, falls into this game, and now he's got guns all over him. And the goal is basically he just has to stay alive. But again, so that being said, a lot of great anime came out this year. There's tons. Also, we had like the final season of Attack on Titan came out. We had season 3 of Kageyama Love is War. Like there's really good continuations of a lot of series this year. Food Wars had another extension on this year. My Hero Academia season 4 came out this year. That was also a good one. We had the whole Overhaul saga happen. That was also a really great thing. So there's tons and tons of anime. And just as a reminder, there's lots and lots of places to get anime. For those of you that have HBO Max, Crunchyroll has a deal with HBO Max, and there's some stuff on there. Hulu actually has tons of anime. Hulu and Funimation have a deal where a lot of things that happen on Funimation also go to Hulu. So I highly recommend that. If you haven't, if you subscribe to Crunchyroll, of course, Crunchyroll is a good one to do. So that's also a good one if you want to check that out. But there was a lot, like Crunchyroll released Tower of God. I wasn't a fan of that, but I know that it's popular. So that was one that you could check out. There was another one, the BNA, the Brand New Animal, which is basically like if you are a fan of or live in the world of furries, that would be the one to check out. Hey, nothing against furries. There was Haikyuu, that was a volleyball one that came out. There was a lot of good stuff that came out this year. Akudama Drive, which is a really good one. I think it's like animated Suicide Squad, but from the same people that did Tokyo Ghoul. Akudama Drive is a really cool one. Highly recommend that one. Beastars is the other one that I think is more of the furry kind. So definitely do that if that is one of you. But tons and tons of anime. So let me know, what was your favorite anime that came out? I'm saying anime, I don't know why. What was your favorite anime that came out in 2020? I would love to hear it. You can tweet it at me at @TheMichaelFight, or on Instagram at MichaelFight. For more information, visit nightshiftradio.com or my website, TheMichaelFight.com. definitely interested in hearing. So for, you know what? Hey, thanks for joining me. Thanks for subscribing. We're wrapping out. This is the last episode of 2020. Although it is only the fifth episode. But this is the last episode of 2020. I've got another one coming out on Friday. So we'll see you then. So don't forget to subscribe. Brand new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, where we just kind of joke about things on the internet. So thanks a lot for joining me, everyone, and we will see you Friday.